Ah, yes. I remember when I had the eyes of an innocent bystander. One whose eyes were filled with bliss, consent, ignorance. The kind of eyes that were able to scream for attention and glance at the most insignificant of things and feel sympathy. They are the kind of eyes, purer than the lilies swaying in the summer breeze. Yet in time I would soon hate those eyes. I have come to love possessing eyes filled with brown that darken as black. With these eyes of mine I have been given the ability to see the flaws and unsightliness that embodies human consciousness. With them, I can dispose of all social and emotional connection, simply for the greater good, sacrificing 100 for 200 without even blinking. With these eyes of mine, no human flaw can escape my gaze. And despite this, I am often hated or avoided. These foolish people do not realize that I'm guiding them, offering them salvation. Yet they do not, will not, and I suspect cannot, see the dire premonition that lies before them. And so I often suppress these feelings. I suppress the light of darkness that my eyes carry. I no longer share the real me anymore, although hints have been known to leak out. They perceive me as evil, cruel, and harsh, but they do not know my true intentions. And despite this, I wear a mask over my head that shows many different sides of me, all of it, of course, being a facade. I put all this effort upon myself so that they do not perceive me as some sort of antagonist. What is the point of trying to teach little brats when they will not listen to the truth? How can I even begin to teach them when they don't even know what they really are? Self-conscious imbeciles. Foolish cretins walking on two legs whose only purpose is to be a living joke. For this reason, I often discard their existence. Continuously, I thought of myself as a supreme being, the god of this universe. If anything, I could be the second coming. I could be the next Messiah. I am never too sure about my thread of fate. But if I had some sort of power, I would rid the world of trash. Do not be mistaken. My ideal of supremacy did not necessarily spring forth entirely out of my self-praise. No, in fact, it came out of my ideals of solitude and hatred towards others. All this time, I presumably lived out my life. But when I really thought about it, it occurred to me that my ignorance of others' existence is a possibility. I know I exist, whether I be an actual living thing or some sort of program written by an intelligence that I cannot even begin to understand. I am completely convinced of my own existence. As for the others, though, I lack the same confidence in the answer to their question. They could easily be false identities planted into this game of reality. If this turned out to be the case, and that I was in fact the only true human existing, and everything around me is just some sort of hoax, then would it not be rational to have the title as the Supreme Being? Does it not make sense? Me, bombarded by a bunch of horrendously worthless trials that bring forth the stupidity of the utmost kind. And I have grown to hate this universe so ripe with avoidable idiotic tendencies. Its naive people and their disappointing decisions. Everything is full of despicable, worthless men and women with their regrettable influences. 8 billion arrogant, narcissistic, cowardly, idiotic, greedy, gluttonous, lustful, depressing animals known as humans. It is a fallacy of truth that has been placed into my existence. I am done with this commotion and nonsense. It is undeniably sickening. All of this tainted water that surrounds me is drowning me to death. And you know what is worse? I cannot help but love the human quality of discrepancy. Even I could fall victim to romance, fear, anger, insanity, the emotions that make man weak and fragile, the traits that I so despise. Perhaps one day I could learn to tolerate this commotion. I could bring about a utopia where my lovely dark eyes turn a bit brighter, into the color of crimson red, the color of blood, love, life, hatred, anger, everything that I excite and everything that I absorb. With these crimson eyes, perhaps I could show the world just a little mercy, despite its value. After all, this is my world, and don't you dare interfere with my plans for humanity.